So it's my privilege first to introduce our first Fireside Chat guest, Dr. Ayanna Abrams. Dr. Ayanna Abrams is a licensed clinical psychologist and CEO and founder of Ascension Behavioral Health. She is also the co-founder of Not So Strong. I love that title. An initiative focused on improving the mental health of Black women. Her expertise includes addressing racism-based trauma, mood disorders, preventing burnout, and fostering healthy relationships. Dr. Abrams has been featured in the New York Times, Essence, Therapy for Black Girls, and Silence of Shame. She has also contributed to books like Emotionally Focused Therapy for African American Couples, titled Love Heals. We're honored to have her with us today as she shares her insights, journey, and expertise. Y'all give it up for Dr. A. And next, I can't remember this young lady, but I do remember when she was born. I got the pleasure of being at Universal Baltimore with your father. And of course, I've met your dear mother, Toya, many times, which we all love her. And so it's really an honor to be talking to you today. Thank you, y'all. She carried me in from LA for this, so. So our special guest today is Reginae Carter. How you really put this? Tell me, you say, why not just Reginae? Reginae. So I like to be real alone. So Reginae Carter. All right. That's right. Names are important. Often recognized as the daughter of music icon Lil Wayne and TV personality Toya Johnson, Reginae is more than just a celebrity child. A multi-talented 24-year-old actress and television personality, Reginae has come on. Okay, 25-year-old actress and television personality, Reginae has carved her own path in the entertainment industry. Hailing from New Orleans, she's the eldest child of Lil Wayne and 3 siblings on her father's side, as well as 1 sibling from her mother's side. While her introduction to the spotlight came through her famous appearance, Reginae has since built her own legacy as an actress, TV personality, and influencer. She is determined to continue the Carter family name while making her own unique mark in the industry. Today, she joins us for a candid fireside chat to discuss her experiences, growth, and insights. Y'all welcome Reginae Carter. So, I'll start first with you, Reginae. To help the audience get to know you a little bit better, can you share a little bit about your background and what inspired you to choose your career path?
So, honestly, my life has been on front screen since I was a kid, so like, in the humblest way, I feel like y'all know everything that I kind of been through. If you don't, you can Google it. But, no, just like me, I've always wanted to act, actually, and I've always been into fashion. And then I've been into reality with my mother, and got into reality TV with my mother. And I've always been just this courageous person that just wants to tackle everything. I never wanted to be boxed in, and my parents have allowed me to go and do everything that you feel as though you want to do, and that's what I did. And I'm not going.
Hey. Yes. What about you, Dr. A?
So I'm the daughter of Caribbean immigrants. Daughter of Caribbean immigrants, and I was born, up in North New Jersey. And always been a nerd, always really interested in school and learning. And then I had my first psychology class when I was in high school, and I got really interested in, okay, well, why do people do the certain things they do? And yes, I'm talking about people externally, but I was really wondering, like, why do my parents act like this? Like, why does my family act like this? So I really got interested in that and decided to major in that when I was at Syracuse for undergrad. And I wanted to pair not only kind of learning with psychology and the science behind behavior, but also be able to take that back to my own community, right, and apply that to the diverse populations within the African diaspora. And that's what I did. And I went to school for a very long time. And now I'm here.
Yes, but now you're homeless. Yeah, you got that. So, Reginae, can you tell us about, what your journey to success was like for you? Like, what were some kind of key moments that you think helped to shape your career to get you where you are today? Good or bad? Like, when you learned lessons from the world.
Okay, so growing up, I feel like I've always kind of had, like, people look at me a different way because of my parents being who they were. I feel like everybody feels like things are just given to me because who I am, and they feel like I don't work as hard, or I don't have to do as much, or it's like, girl, you this, but you don't have the same feelings as us, you know? So it's like, I have had to like fight. I feel like in my heart that I have to fight hard for that acknowledgement where it's like, no, I also get denied from auditions when I go into those rooms. I also wanted to be on, I want to get on these shows and stuff like that, but just because I'm Lil Wayne's daughter and Tony's daughter, I don't get that. So I feel like I wanted people to really know that I do work hard, and I feel like they also get that because younger, I was the spoiled brat growing up. I was, y'all, I'm so sorry. I was the spoiled brat, and I always was like, oh, I'm this, thinking that I'm just bigger than everything, and I got humbled real quick, and
Right. Let's stop there for a second, because that, first of all, that's your reality. Nobody can say anything about how you grew up, what you received, how your parents chose to, you know, pamper you, because that was the lifestyle, right? And oftentimes as parents, whether you celebrities or not, you want our children to have better opportunities than we had. But it's interesting, and I appreciate you saying that you got humbled real quick. Tell us a little bit more about that.
well, when I got into acting, that's when I really started like, oh, wait,
It don't matter.
it don't matter. You know, but just acting, also in school, like, just like feeling like, oh, why I wasn't prom queen, because everybody always, they say that I'm popular in school, everybody want to be with me, be my friend, but then it's like, also just working, seeing how it doesn't matter where I come from or who my parents are. If I wanted, I have to go to those acting classes. I have to sit in front of those screens and those hour-long classes if I really want it. I can't just get it handed to me. And I definitely got really humbled. I'm glad of the experience. I'm glad that I did, because I'm 25 years old. Also, age humbled me too, because it's like, I pay my own bills. I do I have to really fend for myself. My parents are always one call away when life don't go like that. So my parents always taught me that as well.
Yeah, I love that they taught you and instilled in you to work. You know, it's okay that, yeah, if you really needed something, you can call them, and we aren't always afforded that luxury, but understanding the importance of hard work, right? That's really important. Dr. Ayanna, what do you think are some key moments that shaped your career as well?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question, even for you all to also reflect on, right? When we think about what were different junctures that changed something for us. And I'll admit I had a lot of privilege right growing up. I was in the white suburbs of New Jersey. So I was afforded things like being able to go to the school that I wanted to go to, right? I still had to work hard. I had to get the grades to get the scholarship and those kind of things. But, you know, along the way, there are different things that did impact me, right? So I grew up in what I call an international family. So, the daughter of Caribbean immigrants. Is anybody in here daughter or child of immigrants, right? Life looked a little different, right? It's exciting in a little bit of a dangerous way, right? When you're a child of immigrants, right? So that was something that really formed a lot of my thoughts about diversity and about who's who and what's what. And dealing with racism at a really, really early age, right? Shaped a lot of how I understood the world, but also got in the way of how I could understand myself, because I wasn't in a lot of spaces with people who looked like me, right? I was the only one in a lot of my classes, right? I was the only one in a lot of spaces, so I would be rejected by white students, and then black students would say, well, you're smart, so you can go with white folks, right? So dealing with a lot of that, even all throughout college, really kind of taught me different ways in which I had to really look at myself and figure out who I wanted to be. And different things that happened in college, well, not going to my college years, but there were different things that happened on campus, like Syracuse University, that's a PWI, big and small things, whether it makes the news or not, that really forced you to like look back at yourself and be like, is this where you're about to go with this? And I had to really make a decision that if this is the life that I want, I need to kind of buckle down because I want to go to grad school. I want to be a psychologist, so I couldn't get into some types of foolery, right, that I might have wanted to. And those are different junctures, right, that kind of change ways, right? Parents getting sick as you get older, all these things make you reflect in a really different way on not only how you are living your life, but also how you will impact other people's lives.
Awesome, that's great. And I'll just quickly add my level 2 cents in. One of the things that really shaped kind of my career and just the person that I am today was, y'all, I've been working since I was 13. I didn't have a privileged lifestyle. We weren't poor, but we were closer to poor than rich, or even middle class. But we had food, we didn't have a lot of extra money. We never took family vacations. The first trip I ever took was just to my cousin's funeral. So like no vacation. That was just not a day. You didn't sit down at the dinner table. none of that. We kind of had to fend for ourselves. But we was loving the house, but it was just different. But I learned the importance of hard work. I worked every summer. Like, I used to sell Greek cars. I sold candy in the 8th grade out of my duffel bag. I worked at Foot Locker. I was a security guard one summer. I worked at Six Flags. But it built something inside of me, right, that stayed with me forever. And the other important thing was everybody ain't your friend. I learned that early on. And even when I started working in the music industry, I had to differentiate friendship versus associate. Because I think we throw that friend word around a lot, and that causes us a lot of stress and anxiety when we think people are our friends and they're doing something to us or around us. And really, they're not your friend, right? And so once you kind of understand that, I think it's a lot easier to deal with your own mental health and wellness. I'm going to go back to you today. How did you stay true to yourself and your values while navigating the pressures, or how do you stay true to yourself kind of navigating fame and success? Just for you, not even with your parents. But you got 7 balls on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say God, number one, everything. One thing about it, like, I have a great relationship with God. I talk to God. Even when I mess up, I know how to right my wrongs. I read devotionals with my friends. Like, I really try to educate myself on just getting better and bettering myself. Like, one. And two, I feel like just knowing who I am. My parents have instilled in me that I know who I am. I'm a beautiful, educated Black woman, and I am going to take on anything that this world throws at me. So that's what it is. Can't nobody tell me that I'm not God's child. So yes, I have a lot of things to work on. I'm not perfect, but I'm 25, I'm growing, I'm getting older, and also my soul is getting older, my energy is getting older. The things that I thought was cool back then or thought was the vibe was lit, I feel like it's starting to look old to me. Like, it's starting to, I don't know, I'm starting to shift where I want to be. Yeah, I'm maturing,
And that's okay.
yeah, and that's what I know myself, and can't no one define me.
I love that. Thank you. Dr. A, what are some practical daily routines or habits that college students can adopt to manage their mental health, especially when they're stressed out and the demands of academic life mixed in with social media
Because one of the first things that I usually start talking about, right, to be able to practical things, the first thing I'm going to talk about is sleep. And that's the last thing that people usually want to hear, right? Because when we're stressed, when we got stuff to do, when there's demands, when there's social pressures, when there's academic pressures, that's the first thing to go, right? We're going to stay up later to get stuff done. We're going to wake up earlier to get stuff done. We're going to stay out later to figure whatever it is out. And that's one of the biggest ways in which you dysregulate your system. And one of the first things to go is sleep. One of the second things to go is proper appetite and nutrition. I don't know what y'all are eating for breakfast, but I know a lot of y'all don't eat breakfast. I know a lot of y'all drink coffee for breakfast. I'm looking at the adults too, right? Coffee is not breakfast, right? So these are the kinds of things that we don't think about that really shifts how you feel from the inside out, right? And these are things for fuel. And when I talk about sleep, the reason I talk about sleep so much is because it's the one thing that you're going to experience that should be happening, right, enough hours a night that helps you integrate all the information that you're taking in throughout that day, all the movements you've engaged in. This is how you integrate it, is when you are sleeping. Right? A lot of learning literally kind of takes place and is syndicated and factored in when you are sleeping, not when you're awake and doing all your stuff, right? So I'm usually talking about sleep and nutrition first. Then we can talk about how you're navigating different relationships, right? So practical tips, really looking at what kinds of relationships am I in and where's the drama? Who's the drama? Am I the drama? I'm gonna say it again, am I the drama? Right? What are things that are actually pulling a lot of your energy out versus pulling your energy in? Really kind of doing this kind of relationship audit are really practical tips and things to look at, as well as a time audit. So I'll do this exercise with a lot of my clients. How do you want to spend your day or your week or your month? And how are you actually spending your day, your week, your month? And there's usually a big discrepancy. I hear people say, I want to do this and this and this and this and this. And I'm like, but you wake up at 12. How are you going to do that? But you spend 4 hours yesterday on social media. How are you going to do that, right? but you're out every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. How you going to do that? Right, so really looking at the discrepancies between what I want to be doing and who I want to be and what I'm actually doing with my time is a real good practical way to look at what you do about your life. Thank you.
All right. Reginae, you've been a part of TV shows that allow viewers to see a different side of you. How has being on TV shaped your public image, and what have you learned to think about yourself through that?
See, I've been on TV since I was like 10 years old, but I've also been in the public eye since I was like 5. I remember this is like when I started hearing like 7, 8 is when I started hearing things about me, like I died in a car accident, or like I'm celebrating my dad getting an award and I'm called fat and this and that. Been dealing with all of this, but I feel like, how do I deal with it? God, I'm so sorry to keep bringing it, but that's what I honestly wouldn't. I'm sorry, that's my friend over there. That is the most clumsiest person. And literally, you would not know. Like, you have to know she's in the building. So sorry. But I love you. But okay. No, how I deal with it, it's so funny because it's like I have, like, people already, they feel like they already know me because I put a lot of my stuff, a lot of my life out there for people to have someone to judge or feel like, girl, we seen you on this TV show doing this and this and this and that, and we know we were. So it's like I get judged a lot. I also feel like when I was younger, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just like in front of the TV being myself, and I'm thinking that everybody would love me. But I came off as like a spoiled bratty, mean, and it really hurt me. I did a show not too long ago before everything when I was a little younger, but that show got really bad reviews on, like it just made me feel really down, really low, just like.
You have a good support system, or do you ever
counseling or anything? Yes, I do. I do therapy. My family is a village. Like my friends are like my village. Definitely, I keep my support system going. And I also know who I am because people were very quick to tell you who you are. And if you believe them, you'll start acting like that. Or you'll start being what people think that you are. So I just gotta be very true to myself. And growing up on the internet, I just have to keep tough-skinned as well because a lot of people I get comments and DMs and people out there feeling like behind the TV, behind the phone screen, they can tell you how they feel or they can judge you, but it's like they don't know how that might actually hurt somebody. Or it's like, dang, I put out my clothing line, people like, oh, this ugly, It's gonna be those people, but guess what? I also gotta think about the good. I sold out of a lot of my pieces in less than 24 hours. So that's what I gotta think about. It's gonna be the painful, but you gotta think about the positive. So yeah, just stay positive.
I love that. And I'm gonna take that a step further to our condition. So, how can actresses, right, people in the public eye like Reginae, as well as students who live kind of on social media, all of y'all might not be posted, but I'm sure some of y'all are, and it's like you are living, in the public eye. Like, what can they do? Are they need habits or daily routines so they can take care of their mental wellness?
I'm really glad you made that point because I was going to offer a note about what you're talking about is what we call parasocial relationships, right? We see things online and we think that we know people, right, because of what they post.
Wait, what's it called again?
Parasocial relationships.
Y'all need to write that down.
Right? We think that we know people, right? And with the increase in reality TV and social media use, whether that be videos on Instagram or reels or lives or like all these things that are coming into people's homes and relationships, right? We make a lot of assumptions about people, but remember, this is all curated enough, right, for entertainment. But we take it further enough where because we see something and we filter it through our own experiences, our own lives, or whichever it is, we then take it a step further and feel entitled to then tell people what we think they should hear from us, right? As though it must be your business what I think about your clothes. It must be your business, right? And I'll see you go further down when people say, well, again, I kind of own you, right? because you are entertaining me and I paid this and this and this for you, right? So we see it on this kind of bigger scale, right, with people like you in terms of your persona, your personality. But we also see that on a very, very small scale. Somebody posts their clothes or what they're doing or a party that they went to or their grades or whatever is going on. We end up making a lot of assumptions, right, about what they must be thinking, about what they must be feeling, about what their lives are like. And then we use those assumptions to treat them a certain way without actually getting to know them, right? And that's the work for us to do, to really pull back and say, hey, I don't know this person, I know what they posted. And that's two very, very different things, right? I don't know this person, I know what they posted. If I want to get to know this person, I'm going to have to start talking to them, right? And that doesn't mean judging them and telling them what I think about them. That means actually getting to know who they are, right? Because we actually use people, we kind of treat them like objects when we engage with them through social media versus let me actually get to know and meet this person.
Yeah, you don't really know the person.
You don't really know the person, right? Yeah, you get to know the information that they chose to share with you, right? And that's a tidbit in most people's lives, if it's even true, depending on what people are posting, right? So we have to really be careful about what we are assuming about people and reminding ourselves, this is an assumption. What am I trying to do with this information, right? And I say it very, very clearly, stop being mean on the internet. Now, I don't know if everybody says it's not them. Stop being mean on the internet. A lot of us know when we are being mean on the internet, and we think that that is appropriate because that's what a lot of your generation has grown up with. A lot of toxic culture and cyberbullying by telling people everything that I think about them, when quite frankly, it's none of their business what you think about them, right? But I'm wondering how much time you're spending on the internet, right, giving people feedback that you think that they should hear, right, sharing really salacious or negative stories about people, right? So those are the boundaries I want you to pay attention to. How much time am I spending online, right, trolling or looking at stuff or sharing stuff that's funny to me, versus am I actually engaging with it? Hey, there's a psychologist back there. I get that.
Now give it up for Dr. Shanti. She's one of the top psychologists. Young Black adults.
But essentially paying attention to that, that's all a boundary, right? That's our own boundaries with how we're using social media, how we're using the internet, how we're using these stories, right, that we tell ourselves we're making up about people. What are we doing with that information? Is it actually useful in our day-to-day lives? Or are we spending hours on the internet focused on somebody else's life?
I love that. All right, Reginae, when the cameras are off and the spotlight fades, who is Reginae? What do you like to do?
Well, I think that it is a blessing and a curse, but like Reginae is the same person. I am me. Like I'm literally vulnerable. Listen, I'm vulnerable. I feel like nice people it's okay to be like kind, very kind, like, you know, yeah. But I'm me, like I'm very fun. I love God. Like I go to church. I love being with my family, my friends. I love binge watching like shows because really that's like my way of studying because I'm an actress. So like I really love studying shows. I will literally watch a show like 5 times. What is that? Is that something? Because they say I ain't gonna lie, they say that that's like something, they diagnose people sometimes. Because I literally watch. See, they try to diagnose me, but honestly, I am the same person on and off camera. Like, I am me. I am very feisty. I'm definitely like, I'm passionate. That's one thing about me. I'm a passionate person. So everything that I do, like, it's with passion. Sometimes the passion goes a little south, sometimes because I get so passionate about things and I want certain people to have that same passion and I get let down and it comes out. Sometimes I don't know how to react or how to like make my passion seem like I care. Like that's why I'm coming off like this, or that's why I'm so strong-minded. That's why most people might say that but I got an attitude or this and that, when it's like, it's not my attitude, it's like I'm passionate and I care a lot. I'm a good person, I have a good heart. But yeah, I'm really cool when you come hang out with me.
So we have about 15 minutes left, and again, I'm just so grateful that y'all stayed. We had a long day. I probably should have come a little bit earlier, but It's been such a wonderful day. I want to give y'all a chance. It's okay if they ask the questions instead of writing it down. I want to give y'all a chance to ask her a question. If you have a question, we'll pass the mic. State your name, the school you're from, or where you're from. But let's make sure, the questions are good questions. You don't get too personal, but let's ask some good questions about wellness and your careers and terms. All right, first person.
How y'all doing?
Okay, how you doing?
Hi.
I'm good. So I have two questions.
What's your name?
I'm King Williams. I'm serving as Mr. Freshman in Morgan Round College. So how do you think creative expression like writing, music, plays a role in healing from adversity?
Oh, okay. I feel like it actually, depending on how you go about things and how, let's say for instance, when I want to, let me see. Dang, why would you do that? Hold on, wait, that's a good question. Hold on, wait. Okay.
What happened to you?
Okay. Writing down stuff, journaling is good, reading is good. With me, with acting, say for instance, like, if I'm on set, sometimes I have to go to different places in my life and like get those emotions and stuff like that. That is something that I do with acting. Like if I have to be sad, sometimes it's not always good because it's like I have to bring myself to a point where I was sad or I was in.
What's that? Like acting stuff out. Do you have been going through some stuff?
Acting stuff out. No, but I know that certain people use they do write music for helping them get what is it called? Therapy. They use music for therapy and stuff like that. Honestly, my true therapy is going to church and reading. And when I'm acting, that's something that I really love to do. It makes me feel like this is my lane. I feel like growing up, it's always been, oh, I'm gonna do that because of this parent, or I'm gonna do that because of that. Acting is like my lane. So this is what I like to do. But that's a great question.
And that is your creative expression.
And that's my creative expression. I love to act. It's my lane, my way. But I really feel like she's gonna have a great answer for that question.
It is a really, really great question. A lot of people do use creative expression, right, as a means to connect with themselves. Oftentimes we're in settings that we can't really access creativity in a way, whether that be storytelling, music, singing, writing, body movement, right? All those different things are forms of expression for us. They can have it can offer us other ways to attune to ourselves, to slow things down, to get to know our bodies, to get to know our spirits, to get to know our personalities. And I always find creativity and creative expression as a sign of mental health. So I notice that more of my clients who might have more depressive symptoms or more anxious symptoms, they lose their creativity, right? And not only in terms of creativity as it relates to the arts, but when I think about creativity and mental health, I think about hey, when it gets hard for you to even picture a different outcome, that means your creativity is affected, right? That means your imagination is affected. When you're really anxious, when you're really depressed, when you're really in a dark place, it's hard for you to picture that you would feel better. It's hard for you to picture that somebody would answer the phone, right? It's hard for you to picture, right, that I could get through this moment. So then we're gonna start talking about creativity, being able to kind of access, right, a way to think through your circumstances to help you feel better. So I see creativity as like a wraparound experience.
Thank you. And my second question would be, how do you think we can work, or how do you think we can collectively work together to reduce the stigmas around mental health and diversity?
I feel like we have to come together. We are so I really feel like the internet is really putting everybody apart, to be honest. I don't feel like the internet, I know that the internet is is a place where people make money, it's where people connect and stuff like that. Use it for the good, that's great. But the internet is also, it could be very toxic sometimes. And it's just a lot of stuff where you feel like because of that person is doing something, I gotta do it. It messes up your drive in life. It messes up, like you said, what you said earlier, you have to learn what do you want to do, what are you doing to get to that point. Some people be like, oh, dang, like, why is she on the internet? Why is she thriving? Why she because she's working her behind off. She's posting it every day. She's doing this, she's doing that. But the internet has gave everybody the thing to look and judge and feel like, oh, this is perfect. This is more perfect because this is what I'm showing you. But you have to learn to get into yourself and understand you gotta live your own life. And you can't worry about what's going on in the internet and what's going on. And with my generation, I want to say, I'm talking to all of us, don't trust the process. Like, it's a lot of people making it quick, fast. Like the TikTok stuff, everybody on TikTok, you could be up in a second from a TikTok video. I get that, but don't rush your process. Just trust it, okay? Don't feel like you gotta be somewhere where you don't feel like you gotta be somewhere where your energy is not at, or you have to be in rooms because you're homegirl in them, but you don't feel like that's not your vibe. Go to God sometimes. People feel like, oh, talking about God is annoying and this and that you talk about. No, one thing about it, I'm a 25-year-old girl that I'm going to talk about God all day. Y'all have heard it so many times, y'all don't keep hearing it. Sometimes you have to go to a different direction to go to where you want to go in life, to get to where you want to go in life. So, yeah.
Yes. Hello, my name is Reginae Carter. I actually graduated from Smother College in May. And you spoke a lot about finding in God, so I just wanted to ask you, how do you make time to, getting into work and spend time with God with such a busy schedule? That's a great question.
Okay, well, I am never too busy for God. One thing about it, like, say for instance, like if I could go hang out with my friends, and if I could wake up and get on Instagram and wake up and text this person back, I definitely could take some time out like one thing about it, God is everywhere. So if I could just sit right here, I could honestly mute everything right now that's going on and have my moment with God right now. God is everywhere. So I don't never feel like afflicted with time when it comes to God. That's the good thing about God. I could be working on set. And in my dressing room, be like, let me pray that I get this scene right. Like I need to have that energy. I need to have that might. I need to feel like that strength to know that I'm gonna feel this scene. And yeah, that's what I do. It's never too busy for God.
Do you think to the morning prayer routine?
Yes, and also go to church. Me and my friend right there, we do devotions and we read Sarah Jakes. We love Sarah Jakes. Yeah, we're very into. I went to Christian schools too growing up, so I've always been like this. Yeah.
And I want to add to that, right? So when you think about time, making decisions, kind of making time for yourself, you have to make a decision. Oftentimes we're waiting for time to come to us, right? Time is not going to come to you, right? We fill in our schedules, and again, whether we fill it in with stuff externally or we use it up because we fill it in with social media and kind of things that might be a little bit more mindless. But we're actually looking at a practice of discipline and decision making, right? So if you want to experience something, right, you have to make time for it. You have to make that decision, which means you have to grieve something else. If I'm going to do this, it means I'm not doing something else, right? That's about you choosing that priority. But that means you got to have a real conversation with yourself. And usually we are passively waiting for time to come and be like, oh, I just didn't have time. I didn't make time, right? So really having that honest conversation of what was more important than this? Because I chose something else. And I really got to look at myself and get into some of the nasty work around what am I choosing instead of this? But then I'm complaining that I'm not getting what I want. Right? So that's about decision making, that's about decisiveness, and that's about discipline.
Yeah, that was really good. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Abby. I'm from Memphis. My question is, what advice would you give somebody who wants to work on controlling their emotions?
That's a great question. Oh, that question for me?
For both them.
So the first step in that is identifying the emotions, right, that you are struggling with or kind of feel like they might be too much. And actually, I put a caveat around emotions like too much. Because oftentimes that might be messaging that's coming in from somebody who wants you to be less, wants you to kind of dumb something down, right? So maybe just thinking about, why do I want this emotion, either this emotional response or this experience to change? Is it getting in the way of something? Is it affecting something negatively? But then we have to do some work to get some language around, what am I actually feeling? What's under this? Because oftentimes when I hear people or see people talk about emotions, they're talking about behaviors. They're not talking about the actual emotions under that, right? So we actually want to build our language and our emotional intelligence to identify, like, what am I actually feeling here, right? And how to go beyond the I'm sad, I'm mad, I'm angry, I'm pissed off, I'm in my feelings. There's usually stuff that's under that, right? So building some emotional intelligence therapy helps, but reading things helps, right? Talking to other people about what might be coming up for you helps. Once we have language to actually identify what we're feeling, then we can look at, how do I want to regulate this in a different way, right? But again, we're looking at, what's it getting in the way of in my life, right? So if I am feeling really sad, and for me, sadness gets in the way of studying, right? I'm really looking at, well, what's that sadness about? What am I feeling sad around? Is it a relationship loss? Am I really frustrated with something? Am I feeling incompetent because studying is hard, right? You really want to get as atomic as you can with what you are experiencing, and then you can tailor the coping responses to that. But I also will say, sometimes this is work that's not easy for us to do with ourselves. So I'm always going to bring in something around therapy where someone else can actually help you talk through some of these things, so you're actually building accurate information for yourself. Because online information oftentimes isn't accurate information about you, right? Someone else talking about how they experience something could be very, very different from how you're experiencing something. That's why you want to make sure you get accurate language for what you're experiencing, right? So I would look up things like a feelings chart or a feelings wheel, right? So it gives you more than just 5 to 6 to 10 emotions. You get a lot more detail, right, in what you might be feeling, and then you can really tailor what you want to experience. And sometimes, right, to be able to manage different emotions, we got to look at those things I was just talking about. I can have clients who come in and talk about feeling really irritable, really depressed, and really anxious, and I'm asking them about their sleep, and they say they get 3 hours of sleep a night. Okay, I can't help you with irritability until you get more sleep. We can't do, right? We can't do one without the other, right? I can't help you navigate what's going on in your relationship that's making you really sad if you don't eat most days, right? You're not going to be able to build the same skills and the same capacity if you're not taking care of those kind of basic needs. So that's where I also want you to go back to, am I taking care of these things? Am I hungry? Am I angry? Am I lonely? Am I tired? Then we want to look at, what are my emotional responses? But again, that's where you want to bring in some other supports and also recognize you don't have to do that work by yourself.
Great, very good. So let's look at this. Next question.
I'm Asher Brigg, I'm a linear psychology major from Flint, Michigan. I got a question for you about, hey, Ms. Carter.
Hi.
My question for you is, what are some of the things in your life that you've had to grieve to her point? What are some things to get further in life and to kind of improve on your self-esteem that you had to grieve?
Okay, that I had to pick my life, right? Anything like tough that I feel like I said kind of earlier, with just like growing up having to just have everybody like kind of dislike me because of like probably like the things that my dad did in the media or like whatever, and like I would have teachers not like really like be mean to me. Yeah, I would have teachers be mean to me, treat me a certain way. Like, I would just like, growing up, I definitely feel like I had a lot of like, things where it's like, okay, people probably think like, oh, because she's so-and-so's daughter, she gets treated like red carpet. No, some people, because of that person, I'm about to humble you. And that's, I get that a lot. Like, it's like, oh, she thinks she walking, should watch when she come in here. A lot of people like, they want to humble me because they feel like, oh, she gonna already step in this room thinking she better than me. Or she gonna always, yeah, black woman. That too. When I started going into auditions, like I said, and I would get called back 2 or 3 times, thinking that I have it, like I got it. Don't have it, and that's how the acting world is. Sometimes you'll be called back, you'll think you have it, like literally. It'll come on the TV. Oh, that's the role that's what I auditioned for. Like all of that is like, that's certain things that I have to like, dang. But I also taught me, one, you're never bigger than a program. Don't ever think you're bigger than the program. humble yourself, stay humble, and also work on your craft and work for what you want. Also, walk and step and literally come in every room confident and also not ask for what you want. Take what you want in every room. And you don't have to be rude about it. You don't have to be like in every room. I love that I feel like I am right now. I love it. I feel like everybody should. I feel like everybody should step in the room and feel like, dang, this room it got brighter because of me. And a lot of people feel like, yeah, and I walk in my own way, and I love that, and I love the people that are like that. I love a group of boss people that are confident in themselves, that can congratulate you, clap for you. That's all I'm about.
So
I
also have a question for Dr. Ayanna. As a psychologist, you put your 10,000 hours in, so your awareness is like on 10 compared to me. So as you matriculated through your career, what are some psychological concepts that you've observed in real life and they hit you like, oh, that's this, or that's what's going on in that relationship or that environment? And then second follow-up question, do you have any book recommendations?
That's a great question. That first question I tried not to do. Hold on.
Too old.
That first one I tried not to do, and it's hard to be a psychologist in the world where you're noticing almost too much. So I actually have to tune that out and tune that down, right? A lot of people do make assumptions that because you're a therapist, because you're a psychologist, I'm always analyzing stuff. And I'm not. I really, really, really have to have my own boundaries around. Girl, mind your business. Mind your business. They didn't ask you for nothing, right? And there are people who also ask me for too much, right? So I actually try to not do that too much, right? Even when I notice things, I gotta keep my mouth shut because y'all also not paying me for this work, so I can't be working all the time. But I do have a tendency or an ability to see things in a way that a lot of people around me don't see, right? So I have my own bubble of my colleagues. When I step onto social media, I step in other space, and I'm just like, that ain't, that's what you thought that was. That's not narcissism. That's not this, right? That's not gaslighting, right? I have to really pull myself back and try and tell people, right, everything that could be going on. And that's a personal boundary for me. I recognize that there are other therapists or psychologists who don't kind of navigate that line. And I've also had to do that in my personal relationships, actually protect my relationships and not be doing all this work all the time because the burnout for therapists is very, very, very real and very high, and we're not always well. So it's really important to kind of set that line, like friends, family, internet, all that, colleagues, all that kind of stuff. Your second was about book recommendations. These are general book recommendations, so
I would love if you had a specific psych-related book that you could provide to some of the members of the AV side, because I'm interested in Black psychologists, so anything from an Afrocentric perspective.
you gotta ask her. I'll give you some, but you also gotta ask her. I would recommend Dr. Peter Walker's book, The Guide to Black Mental Health. I recommend work by Dr. Tim O'Brien. She got Homecoming, and she got another book. She got the Reclaim book that's coming out. I know you got some other names, or someone else wants to.
We'll think of some more names. Okay.
Okay, thank
All right,
you.
we'll put your names together. All right, so we have one last question. First, I want to introduce Dr. Shanti Reynolds. Y'all give it up for Dr. She is a top Black female. She is a top Black female psychologist, and she's all over the internet. She is so dynamic. She's on Hulu. She's on Hulu. She has her own podcast. She speaks to a lot of colleges. She's just amazing. She was here, y'all, in town, flew in to do the Revolt Summit, but wanted to come and see y'all and support y'all. So I'm gonna make sure that she just gives some parting words and y'all can follow her. Because it's important, even if you don't go to therapy. If you're afraid to take that first step, you're here to learn about your mental well-being. So again, just shout out to everybody that put this together to start following these sisters and brothers that do psychology and figure out your own wellness journey and how it's going to help shape your college career, because y'all got some heavy hitters in here. So thank you. You will give our last question.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Brittany. I have a question. This is for all of you, but specifically you.
Me?
Yes. I guess it relates to all of you. Like, I'm the first gen child of immigrants, and I've also, like, growing up, like, I was that girl, like, to me, it was like, knowledge and being smart and going to do all this stuff. And then I burnt out very quickly. And then, like, started therapy and all this other stuff, and I was on the right track. And a friend of mine committed, trigger word, committed suicide. And it turns out that that person, like me, was ADHD, and they didn't, like, they had great parents, two-parent household, like, we grew up upper middle class, like, we had everything. Our parents knew everything, but they didn't know, like, what we were doing, like, mental health stuff, like, I had to teach my parents. And so my question to you is that when it comes to building something like this, and with you getting your foot in the door, so I want to make a nonprofit about people of color specifically and facing neurodivergency and trying to get them tested, like all up from the beginning, from elementary school and onward and in college, and do stuff like this. But I'm at a loss because of my ADHD late diagnosis, I didn't get to finish college, and so I didn't make the connections of having psychologists, teachers to like lean on and stuff like that. So, okay, sorry, I talk a lot. My question is, how do I make the steps necessary to work on my craft and do stuff? How do I get my foot in the door to the door and the room doesn't exist?
Great question. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay. So when the door doesn't exist and opportunities don't exist. So for me, y'all, I told y'all I came from the music business. You could have paid $1 million in Apple to start a nonprofit. I worked, you know, at Universal Motown when you're dad, and I was on one of the Carter albums and helped launch Usher and Outkast and all those folks. But, you know, mental health was a big part of it, as I mentioned, with my family. My father took us on my best friend took her on like 12 hours after I talked to her, and I almost took my own. And so it was my passion and really pulling deep from my pain that opened up the door for me. I just opened up my own door and didn't even know it. I literally started using social media in a good way and started talking about what I was going through. And I found, you know, in that process that God and the universe was bringing like-minded individuals towards me. There's a lady that I love dearly, raise your hand, Tanya, in the audience. Tanya has been there since day one for Silence Chain, and then if I can say, her son attempted and lived and shot himself, or attempted suicide, and he is alive, and he's still here with us, thank God. But she had been through this process, and she knew it, and she was looking for other folks that looked like her to start opening up, talking about it. So it really is just about community. Building community, finding people that can help you galvanize, that can open those doors for you. I didn't know Dr. A, I didn't know Dr. Shonda. Layla, raise your hand, Layla, who's here from DBHCB, Free Your Fields, but really works for South today too. We love her. She came on day one. So I like built community around me. I have a STS committee that's been here since day one, and we're like family. So what I was able to do is start going to events, building community. And then on the flip side, I learned about the nonprofit space. Y'all, building a nonprofits is still a business. Even though we're 501c3, we got payroll, we got to make sure our staff have health care, right? We have to put together strategic plans, 5-year strategic plans for organizations. So learn about just growing a nonprofit. There's a great resource here in the Georgia Center for Nonprofits, and I'll give it to you afterwards. It can teach, they have classes, you can learn about starting your own nonprofit. You can use me as a resource. So building community, doing the research, but don't worry about having ADHD. Like, none of that, those are your abilities. Do not look at that as a disability. I look at that as abilities, right? We just have different things that we go through in life, but you'll be fine. You just got to network and build community. And if you're really passionate about it, I mean, we're 8 years in, and I feel like it takes 10 years to really build a business. And I'm walking confidently in my life, as Reginae said, and I feel like we're moving into our harvest with Silence Chain. I'm going to claim that we're going to get a $5 million donation from $5 million and take what we're doing local, because the work is too very important. So don't let anyone tell you you can't do something. Anybody want to add quickly to that before we close out?
Yeah, I would add to that oftentimes we are looking for something external, right, to kind of welcome us in versus seeing that, hey, we're the biggest resource. So instead of saying that, hey, there's a door that's not open or there's a resource not out there, you're the door. right? And you being able to speak about your experiences, you being able to be the light for other people who are in those spaces, for validation, right? For empathy, for reflection around your shared experiences. You just want to keep talking about what you are experiencing, and find people, and people will also find you. It's also looking at, where am I talking about this, right? Where am I looking for people, right? Because sometimes you do this thing where you're looking in the wrong spaces for a door to be open, and those are people who are never going to open the door. Right, because they don't want you to have access. And particularly when you're talking about the neurodivergent community and what that looks like online, it don't look like us. It's very, very white. So that's where you're looking, you're going to receive a certain type of door in the face versus am I expanding, right, where I'm looking at, where I'm speaking, where I'm talking about my personal experience. That's online, but that's also to actual people. That's in your family. That's in your community, right? But just keep talking about what you are experiencing. You will see that people will gravitate towards that light.
Thank you. Final words of encouragement from you, Reginae.
Okay. I want to say, everyone, trust the process, love yourself, respect yourself, keep yourself up. Y'all, we gotta vote. Yeah. We gotta vote, y'all. We gotta wake up. Yeah, y'all, we gotta vote. Yeah, let's like actually start trying to better this world. Do y'all see what's going on? I don't know. Me and my friends have been talking. We're like, hold up. We gotta figure it out. Maybe we can start with just us too. Like, for real though, we really have to like start bettering ourselves and bettering this world and like walking in our life, so maybe other people might follow it, because it's a lot going on right now. You pick up the screen and it's just so negative. It's so much hate. It's just so like, it's no love out there. Put more love and unity into the world.
Yes. Oh gosh, what am I gonna say? You get to know yourself. I think that there's so many things that are happening in our world and pulling us away from ourselves, and we're actually scared to spend time with ourselves. We devote a lot of our time with TV, with social media. Sometimes we feel that we're reading too many self-help books. I'm gonna give you some books, but like we're doing too much. Like I'm a project that I need to be better all the time, every second. Just get to know yourself where you are. Get to know your vulnerabilities. Get to know your quirks. Get to know those things. It's just like, I don't love that I do that, but I do that, and I need to like think about that versus I need to fix it. I need to change it immediately. I need to be better by January 1st, right? Allow yourself to actually get to know where you are and then make decisions from there. But slow down.
And just be sometimes. Like, I like roller coasters. I can't wait to go to Halloween nights in Six Flags. So, like, go play Uno. Go play video games. Like, go do something silly. Like, just be. I love the fact that you said we're a project all the time. Life cannot just be a project 24/7. We will drive ourselves bonkers trying to be a project. It is absolutely exhausting. So thank you. And I do want to give Dr. Shonda just final words to give some encouragement, because I love all what you always have to say.
First of all, thank you, Auntie Shanti, for holding this space for us. Can y'all give it up for Auntie received so many amazing gems. Y'all was dropping so many gems on this panel. I was in the back just picking them up. So it's just been a pleasure being here, just soaking up all this information. And I just want to encourage all the students here, pay attention to your mind and your body. Your mind and your body is always talking to you. If you find that you're not getting enough sleep or you're getting too much sleep, if you find that you're eating excessively or not eating enough, if you find that you're more sad than you are typically, you need to pay attention to that, because that's the time when we need to reach out. And y'all have campus resources. Did y'all know that's in your tuition? The counselors, the therapy, like all of that, we pay for it. So it's important to utilize it. And they cannot help you if y'all are not reaching out. Sound good?
Yes, they do. All right, so let's give a big round of applause to our Fireside Chat speakers for sharing their insights and experiences. Your words have truly been inspiring, and we are grateful for your openness and wisdom. We also want to extend a special thank you to Morehouse College and the Atlanta University Center, AUC, for hosting us today and their incredible support. Supporting this event. Your partnership has been instrumental in making STSU a complete success. A huge thank you to our sponsors, Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities, DBHDD, Kaiser Permanente, Mendoza Credit Union for sponsoring STSU Fest and supporting our mission. We're also deeply grateful to our vendors, all of our tireless volunteers, facilitators, and facilitators for their hard work and dedication. Let's give them a round of applause as well. And lastly, I want to thank you, all of y'all, our wonderful audience, especially y'all that's been here all day. I can't thank y'all enough for your engagement throughout the day. Your presence has made STSU Fest a memorable one and an enriching experience. We kindly ask for your feedback by completing our evaluation, which is on the program that you received at check-in. Y'all, it's really important for the evaluations. Just please do the evaluation. You got it at check-in and it's displayed on the screen behind me, so you can use your phone and the QR code. That helps us to be able to do these type of events and bring them to your campus. So once completed, guess what? Your name will be entered into a raffle or a prize. So let's continue to prioritize our mental health, support each other, spread more love, like Reginae said, love on each other, be kind, and it'll all help you on your journey to well-being. And as I always like to say, take time, save a life in silence and shame. But I would be remiss if I know they don't like this, but our staff, we have a rock star staff at Silence and Shame. Our executive director, she hired Julie Good. Come on up, Megan, Charlotte Pringle. I don't know where there's Nia, our program director. Where's Nia? Come on, Nia. Come on down, Nia. Come on, Layla. My STS committee and tenure. These, y'all, are the reason, the people that are here. I don't know if Tyler is still here, but this is why we exist. We have a small but mighty team. We are a team of color out here trying to help y'all #live your best lives and have good mental health. Thank you again, Dean Himmett and your staff, Tina Thompson. We love y'all and appreciate you.